Many thought it could never be done. Dune, the sci-fi opus, felt too complex to be turned into a movie. Enter director Denis Villeneuve, determined to take on the challenge and deliver a movie that is just as badass as the iconic book series it was based on.
They're some of the coolest things I've ever worn in a film.
For those of you who don't know, Dune is a massive, detailed tale about houses that are at war with each other over a very important resource known as spice. This precious material is found on the desert planet of Arrakis, the stewardship of which is taken by the young hero Paul Atreides to remove the savage Harkonnens. The reason why adapting a story like this proves to be difficult is because of the detailed history, politics, and languages. It is its own self-sustaining universe. Stay tuned to watch the backstage action behind the magic of Dune. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to watch more videos like this one.
The visuals, the lighting, Greg's unbelievable. It's just an honor.
First things first, we need to check out the locations on the film set. The entire shooting experience can pretty much be summed up as long and brutal.
Still suits that were very practical. I felt myself come to when I put it on.
Despite the film's massive budget, it was filmed old school using location shoots in blazing deserts and frosty icecapes.
I've seen a desert like that. I'm a rock climber. I've never seen rock like that.
Known as one of the roughest planets in all of science fiction, Arrakis wasn't made real through simple movie magic using green screens and CGI. What we have instead are long hours spent in the grueling desert of Jordan and the United Arab Emirates. The hard-working actors would perform for months at a time under the merciless heat of the Middle Eastern sun, creating a movie that is unforgettable in every way.
Gray thing looks so beautiful. I don't know how they did it.
The cinematographer for this film, Oscar-winning Greg Fraser, however, was totally fearless about setting the perfect scenes in the rocky valleys of Wadi Rum in Jordan and Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. The only things that were added later were the sandworms and spaceships, but not even that fully. The spaceships were built by production designer Patrice Vermette as full-scale models of the planet's preferred air vehicle, the Ornithopter.
It's so hot during the day that sometimes you have to shoot between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. I guess it'd be too dangerous to be shooting.
Editor Joe Walker has spoken of the usefulness of using a real desert as a set before. Even the dryness of the desert air the actors were breathing helped the authenticity of their performance.
Overall experience in Jordan has been incredible. I mean, I love to experience different cultures and learn more about their history.
The sets in Hungary were vast. What Patrice got right was the weight of the oppression of the palace structures. You feel the weight of stone above you, and Dune is, if not a fantastic piece about mankind's place in the environment. Villeneuve's cast choices were nothing if not carefully selected. It was absolutely imperative that the chosen cast members be people that are the most talented at grabbing audience attention. Timothée Chalamet didn't even have to give an audition for his iconic role as Paul Atreides. Villeneuve handpicked the handsome Frenchman himself. As soon as he heard about its production, Chalamet reportedly set up a Google alert for the movie and even flew to the Cannes to meet up with the director. Chalamet further mentioned that he didn't even think to sit there and evaluate whether he wanted to do this or not. As for Villeneuve, Chalamet was the only actor who could play the protagonist as he described him as an old soul with an insane charisma.
In the midst of war, there's no room for fear.
Isaac, on the other hand, called Villeneuve himself as soon as he heard that the film was going to happen, asking to take literally any role he could get. Later on, the director called him back, asking him to play Duke Leto, which Isaac was more than happy about. The story is pretty much the same for the rest of the cast. Josh Brolin, who plays the Atreides weapons master and as the director himself, calls him a warrior poet, Gurney Halleck. This guy didn't even read the script. He was that excited to accept the offer to be a part of Dune. Jason Momoa also signed up just as fast, describing Villeneuve as one of my top 3 favorite directors of all time.
It really made me feel like I was in an alien planet.
Guiding the Freeman is Stilgar, played by Javier Bardem, accompanied by Chani, a younger Freeman portrayed by Zendaya. But the director specifically mentioned he wanted more women to be a part of Dune, as in his words, "We are in 2020. I cannot do Lawrence of Arabia." And so, Kynes became the character to be replaced. Sharon Duncan Brewster took on the mantle of the paleontologist on Arrakis, who is no longer portrayed as a white male. A huge mistake that the previous adaptations of Dune have made is to give it a more modern feel. That is a mistake the director did not want to repeat. Nature and history are what inspired costume designer Jacqueline West working on this iconic science fiction series. Surprisingly, West initially did not want to work for Dune simply because she wasn't the biggest sci-fi fan out there. But Villeneuve chose her specifically because he did not want Dune to be your average science fiction cliché. The sandworms are breathtaking, but the steel suits are just as iconic. In order to create the amazing garments that recycle water in the body of its wearer, they had to get every single detail absolutely perfect.
Harkonnens are very bug-inspired, with layers and scales and crusts. Even their helmet is very ant-like.
The hard-working costume designer made an astonishing 250 steel suits that were each tailored to fit the actor's specific measurements. So they're definitely unique and one of a kind. The designers didn't just keep the function in mind, but they also had to make the clothes look as aesthetically pleasing and as realistic as possible. West was very inspired by the color palette of the rocks and sand present in the Jordanian desert. Furthermore, she also took a lot of inspiration from the attire of the Tuareg people living in the Sahara, making gauzes a part of their suits and as a head covering to keep sand out of the actors' faces. The steel suits are so practical because the shooting is taking place in an actual desert. A lot of sci-fi movie costumes may look like high-tech miracles, but that isn't usually the case in real life. However, the suits made for Dune are definitely a fortunate exception. West recalls the first time Chalamet donned his costume. He started doing a sandwalk, crawling on the floor, and jumping and kicking and doing all of the martial arts his mother had taught him. The inspiration for the other costumes are all over the place. From Lady Jessica sporting something off of Francisco Goya paintings, to spiders and ants loaning their creepy feel to the Harkonnens. Even the Russian monarchs, the Romanovs, provided major inspo for the Dune Atreides uniforms. West also took inspiration from tarot cards and medieval chess pieces for the mystical Bene Gesserit. The creativity of the costumes totally sets Dune apart as a unique film in its genre. That will be a wrap for Dune Behind the Scenes. We hope you enjoyed this video. Are you excited to watch Timothy and Zendaya together? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to press like, subscribe to, and click that bell icon to receive updates on more videos like this one. See you later!